What's up, everyone? Good to see you again. We're gonna do things a little differently this time than doing standard play. So we're gonna do ranked play. We're gonna do Alchemy ranked, and it might be a bad decision doing ranked with the new deck because I don't play my best, and I could lose rank. But let's not worry about it too much. Let's just go ahead and do ranked play. Made a deck from the Magic the Gathering website. Lord of the Rings deck lists. This one's called Galadriel's Elves. So we're gonna go ahead and try this out. I just built this earlier at the gym. Looked it up this morning. Built it while I was at the gym. Had to spend some wild cards, but that's fine. Some uncommon, maybe some common cards, a couple rares. I don't think any mythic rares. A couple rare wild cards, maybe 5 or so. Let's just keep this open in hand. Okay, I was thinking this was 2. Maybe should look at that beforehand, but yeah, this is 2, and that one enters tapped, so we're gonna go ahead and get that one out there first. So I'll be able to play these 2, with the lands I got. So I'll be good for a little bit. So this deck just does a lot of scrying. I actually have the commander version of this deck for tabletop. Blue, green, and lots of scrying. I believe she is the commander card. One of the Galadriels is. Go ahead, cast another Lothlorien Lookout, and let's go ahead and attack. Go back and scry. Okay, I need that land. If you don't know scrying, you'll look at the top card of your, top X cards of your library. In that case, it was 1. You can either put it at the bottom in any order, or put it at the top in any order. So if I had 5 cards, I could put 3 at the bottom. Those 3 have to stay at the bottom of the deck, but those 3 can be in any order I choose. And the 2 at the top. Those 2 have to be the top 2 cards, but I could put either one on the top of the library. I gotta choose the order. So I think, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get her out there. And let's go ahead and attack, because if he blocks with this, I'll be able to take it out, so that's fine by me. I would keep him, but I need more land, so I'm going to be able to scry again. Cool. Gotta keep this Enchantment Saga, because I can play it. I'm not really, I forget, there was quite a few lands in here. I feel like I should be getting more lands, but I'm not really sure. I think I only need about 4 lands to play each one of my cards, but, if I had 8 lands, 7 or 8 lands, I could play 2 or more cards a turn. 2 high mana cost cards, 3 low mana cost cards, but anyway. I guess since I already revealed it, I can't reveal again, but I went ahead and clicked it anyway, just to kind of keep myself in check, keep myself honest. Yeah, let's go ahead and play this one, and then probably play that Enchantment Saga. Scry 3, then you may reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, draw a card. I was going to do that then. I definitely need these lands. Reveal it, draw it. Cool. This enchant. Oh, okay. Oh, that actually worked out a lot. Okay. This Enchantment Saga, if I wouldn't have been able to put the island onto the battlefield, wouldn't have really helped being able to scry 2. But now I gotta see this island, because I took the top card off and I already scried. So, just gonna keep it like that, because I could use more land. And we'll just hit, oh yeah, put another land card on the battlefield. Okay, that really works out. I don't play with this deck, so I'm just kind of learning it, but it's working out really well. I'm just gonna attack with these 2. I don't really want to risk Galadriel, but I don't mind risking these guys. And, I'm not gonna scry. But I will be able to put it, oh wow. That is working really, really well. I don't need her. Although the one I have on the battlefield could die, we're just going to assume that it's not. We're going to play as if I'll be able to keep using it and not kind of worry about that, because I'll have other cards to play anyway. But I'd rather have a card where, we're seeing all sorts of land cards out on the battlefield, where I absolutely know I can play it rather than having a backup card. Oh, well, he managed to take one of my lookouts out without getting this creature killed, but still save the other one. I'm still fine with it because I can do all that scrying and get lands out there. Now there should be one that whenever you scry, you put a counter. It might be this one, you put a counter. Yeah, whenever you scry, put counters on creatures. I think there's one that puts counters on itself. This one's all about scrying and counters and, I guess, getting lands out there. Let's do this one. Just make it bigger. Got a land out there that we could do. I want to figure out, let's do this one. And I can actually cast that one too, so that's cool. Alright. Well, this deck works out really well, so I'm glad I did ranked play. It ended up working out. Now we're in gold tier 1. Alrighty. Cool. That was a really fun deck. I'm going to go ahead and show y'all where I found that deck list too. I'm going to show you how I found it on my phone real quick. Cool. 100 gold, 275 XP, and 2 tickets. Alright, so I went ahead and decided to not show you guys where I found that on the website. So I have to rotate the screen and all this other stuff, and I just don't feel like doing that, so I'm going to do a separate video. Maybe just showing you where I found that, but I didn't want to mention that there was a 5-color deck on the deck list that intrigued me, that I want to build, but it's for Historic Brawl, apparently, and I guess they're not all Lord of the Rings cards. I didn't look too much into it, and it's 100, I think it's a 100-card deck. I thought Brawl had to be exactly 60 cards, so I might have to go back and look at that, but it did say it was built for Historic Brawl, but if that's the case, maybe you could still use it for regular Historic play. I'm not really sure. I have to look into it, but it's got a really interesting 5-color card from the Lord of the Rings set that I want to show you all. It's a really cool card. Maybe I don't have it. I thought maybe I had it. It's this guy right here. Tom Bombadil. 1 of each color. Legendary creature, God Bard, Mythic Rare, 4/4 power toughness. As long as there are 4 more lore counters among sagas you control, Tom Bombadil has hexproof and indestructible. Whenever the final chapter ability of a saga you control resolves, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a saga card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This ability triggers only once each turn. So this one, the deck they built was packed full of enchantment sagas. I had every enchantment saga from the Lord of the Rings set, and some other enchantment sagas. Because you can see with that card, that's what it's all about, is getting as many enchantment sagas out there as you can. And enchantment sagas are great cards to play, because you get, this one's crazy. I don't think I used this one. 6 things, and they're all the same thing. That only cost 1 mana. Note a creature type that hasn't been noted for long list of the Ents. When you next cast a creature spell of that type this turn, that creature enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. So I guess, the way I'm thinking, you could get at least, or I guess a maximum of 6 +1/+1 counters. I guess you have to have 6 different creature types. Interesting. You get 6 counters with 1 mana, pretty much. There's a lot of enchantment sagas. I love using enchantment sagas. I want to put more in my deck. I took some out, though. One of my favorite enchantment sagas is not in the Lord of the Rings set. It's actually Kamigawa. It's the Neon Dynasty. It's not going to show because it's not in the not in the Alchemy format. So I just got to switch that real quick. Let's just do historic or timeless, I guess. Neon Dynasty should be the one. Yep, the Kami War. I love this one. It's a really good card. It gets killed a lot when I use it because people hate it. The creature it turns into is just devastating. It's not worth 6 mana, but the card itself is worth 6 mana. The first lore counter, if you get it out there, if you're able to use all 3 lore counters, it's definitely worth the 6 mana. I say use all 3 and be able to attack with the creature at least once. Definitely worth the 6 mana. If you get the first one out there, it's not worth 6 mana, but being able to exile any target non-land permanent, well, I want to say any, if it's hexproof, then you can't target it, but exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls. That is always satisfying to me. And then I know I got it out there once. They could destroy it, hypothetically, and it kind of sucks you paid 6 mana to exile a permanent, because I can't think of the card exactly, but I know you could do it for less mana requirements. And then number 2, if you can get 1 and 2, that's a little closer. It's a mythic rare, so it's closer to being worth 6 mana. Let's just say hypothetically, if this card was only had the 1 and 2 lore counters and it costs 6 mana, but instead of a mythic rare is a common, then I would be like, okay, that's understandable. It's just not a super great card. It's a good card. It's a decent card, but not super great. Since it's a mythic rare, that's kind of, it's supposed to be good. And it's a really good card. But even if you get the first 2 lore counters, I wouldn't be too mad spending 6 mana on it. Being that it's 1 of each color, I would say the first 2, being that it's mythic rare, I would say, I don't know, 4 or 5 mana, 1 of each color. Yeah, especially since you have all those color requirements. 4 would be really good. I would almost never not want to use the card, in this hypothetical situation. If it was 5 mana, it would still be good. But there could be times where I might not really want to meet all those mana requirements. So I'm just thinking, well, actually, I guess now that I think about it, I think to do all 3 things that the first and second lore counters do, I think you'd have to spend 5 mana no matter what. It would just, some of it would be colorless versus having to be a specific color. So I guess 5 colors actually isn't that bad, and 6 really isn't that bad either. Second one, return up to 1 other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, then each opponent discards a card. Sometimes it really works out. If the opponent has no cards in their hand, you have to be careful with which ones you return. You have to make sure it doesn't benefit them to have that card returned to their hand. But if they have no cards in their hand, you return that card to them, and they have to discard a card. They only have that one that was on the battlefield. So in a way, you could essentially destroy one of their permanents, or at least send it to the graveyard. So this card could work out really well. And then the creature is great. Exile the saga, then return it to the battlefield, transformed under your control. When it transforms, it has summoning sickness. This one is a dragon spirit, 6/6 power toughness. It's all colors. Kagachi made manifest. It's all colors. Has flying and trample. Whenever it attacks, defending player chooses a non-land card in your graveyard. Return that card to your hand. This card gets, Kagachi made manifest gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the mana value of that card. So you're at least getting +1/+0 every turn. Now I went on a rant about this card a lot, but that's kind of something I want to do with this podcast, is give my thoughts and opinions and my ideas about this game. Give you some insight into how I think and my strategies. I could be wrong about certain things, or other people might have different opinions, and that's fine. And if you do, feel free to comment below. This is another 5-color card I used. It was okay. I took it out eventually because where X is the number of different color pairs among permanents you control that are exactly 2 colors. It just, when I build my decks that are 5 colors, I guess I just didn't have a whole lot of cards that were exactly 2 colors. So I never got to use the abilities that much on this creature. I was just paying 5 mana for it to have flying, hexproof for multicolored, and be 6/6 power toughness. But being that it's 5 specific colors, it's kind of, and it's a rare. That's kind of a high cost for this card compared to other cards I could have. But the ability, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, deals X damage to any target player draws X cards, and you gain X life, where X is the number of different color pairs among permanents you control that are exactly 2 colors. So it doesn't have to be creatures. So that could definitely be helpful. You have, even 1, but at least 2 or 3. It has flying, so if your opponent doesn't have reach or flying, the 6 power toughness is already great just to attack with, and then the added benefit is is really great if you have a lot of 2-color cards. This is a fun 5-colored battle to play with. I think you've seen me play with it in my other games. Use this card for a while. It's kind of cool because you could. It's only cool if you get it at the beginning in your opening hand. If you don't, it's kind of. There's other cards I would rather have that don't cost 4 mana. It's kind of a high cost for what it does if you're not allowed to play it at the beginning of the game. But if you play it at the beginning of the game, it really helps. But at the same time, I would almost just want a different card in my hand. And of course, I like this 5-colored card. Anyway, I wonder if it actually saved that deck with no cards in it. It did. Wow, that's crazy. We're just going to go ahead and delete that. But thanks for tuning in. See you on the next one. Toodaloo.